Hi, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for our Miller-Motte College virtual event. We will start here in one more minute. We want to give everyone the opportunity to join. We appreciate everyone taking the time this evening to join us. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to use the chat that you see on the right-hand side of the screen. We will have an opportunity later with our presenters and some of our directors of admission to answer those questions that you might have. But thank you so much for joining us, and we'll start in one moment. All right, Missy, handing it over to you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Missy Hibbard. I'm the Program Director for Allied Health with Miller-Motte College Online, and I'm here to talk to you tonight about Prep Smart, Stay Calm, your game plan to certification, success, and beyond. So, before I can talk to you about why certification matters, I want to establish a little bit of credibility with you so that you can understand why I'm so passionate about what I'm about to share with you. I come to the classroom with over 20 years of experience in the allied health field. And during those 2 decades, I acquired quite a bit of alphabet soup after my name. And here's why. Those credentials, the certifications that you are seeking, validate your professional skills. Yes, you have successfully completed the program of study. However, if you look at a lot of the job postings for your future careers, they're looking for someone with experience. So I always tell my students, because this is what worked for me, go seek those credentials. Chase after that alphabet soup, because now you can apply for those jobs with confidence and say in your cover letter, "Dear employer, I know you're looking for someone that has some experience, but I have taken a third-party exam. I've demonstrated my knowledge, my understanding, and my ability to apply what I've learned to prove my skills and earn this credential." And then once you get that interview, you just wow them. They're going to want to take a chance on you. Even though you're fresh and green, you have proven that you have the education, the background, and the skill set to be successful, and they can train you for all of the rest. So that helps you to meet the employer's requirements. Certifications also are going to help to increase your career mobility. Maybe that means a higher wage. Maybe that means advancement into a supervisory role or something that has a little bit more responsibility than those entry-level positions. So for all of those reasons, certification matters. And I really want to encourage you not to stop when your program ends, but let's work together and secure that alphabet soup after your name and get you certified. Next slide. So, one of the most important things to do is to know which certification you are chasing after. Trust me, it can get very confusing when you go to the NHA website and you start looking at which exam you should apply for. So, it's really important to know your program and know your exam. Some of the things that we're going to cover this evening, if you're a medical billing and coding student, you are going to look at the Certified Billing and Coding Specialist, also CBCS. If you are a pharm tech student, you are going to want to certify in the field of pharmacy with the EXCPT exam that will yield the CPHT credential as a certified pharmacy technician. If you are a health information technology student, you are going to want to look at the CEHRS credential, and that's Certified Electronic Health Record Specialist. And of course, if you completed the clinical medical assisting program, you are going to want to look at the CCMA to become a certified clinical medical assistant. So again, it's very important to know your exam and make sure that you are registering for the correct exam and preparing for the correct exam. And again, that alphabet soup can get tricky sometimes. So if you have questions, make sure to reach out to someone here at the school so that we can help guide you, or just really read for detail and make sure that the exam that you are seeking on the website is the one that you actually want to complete. Next slide. So we are all joining this call, coming in with different areas in our path. So I want to take a moment to get to know you. So you'll see on your screen that you can click on Engage in the chat. And then I want you to click on the certification journey poll and answer the question, where are you in your credentialing process? So maybe you're just beginning your journey. Maybe you're getting ready to graduate. Maybe you're graduated and you're ready to go test, or maybe you're just curious today. So where are you? Seeing some of the results come in. Looks like the vast majority of you are just beginning your journey and you're here to learn about what certifications are and why you should chase after them. Now we have quite a few people that are graduated and ready to test, and that's awesome. You're in the right place, and I'm going to take your hand and help guide you towards that finish line. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next slide. One of the most important things that you need to understand is the exam blueprint. I want you to think about a blueprint that you might have seen for a house. It shows where the load-bearing walls are. It shows where the rooms are divided. Everything that you need to know about that house is laid out on that blueprint. The same is true with an exam blueprint. It's going to tell you which concepts are covered on the exam. It's going to tell you how long the exam is, how many questions are on the exam. But the most important part is that it's going to give you percentages that break down the content of the exam. This is important because it helps you to understand where to focus on your exam and where to spend the most time studying. So for example, if you are a pharmacy technician student and your exam says that 25% of it is talking about HIPAA and insurance and billing practices, and another 25% is talking about professionalism and soft skills, but 50% is on medications, medication names, dosages, strengths, routes of administration, you're going to want to spend the most time preparing for that content area that's 50% of your exam, because that is where the majority of your questions are going to come from. Now, those other areas, definitely important. If it's on the blueprint, it's on the exam, but you just want to make sure that you focus on the areas where more questions are going to be asked and that you are solid with your ability to answer those questions correctly. Next slide. So once you know what's going to be on the test, it's time to build a study plan. One of the great things about our programs here at Miller-Motte is that part of your program, we have exam certification prep courses. So you're going to have an opportunity to spend time with an instructor who carries that same credential for 5 weeks in class as they help you navigate the study guide and the practice exams and help you to identify your strong areas, your weak areas, and what you need to do to be successful. Now, I want to pause and tell you that your study plan is going to look different than your classmate's study plan. It's going to be different than my study plan because we are all different. We all learn differently and we all master concepts differently. So what's important is that you build a study plan that works for you. Certainly tap into your peers, see what's working for them, because it never hurts to try new things. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you know you, and you know what you need to do to be successful. So some of the things that I can recommend is to create a schedule and make sure that you have checkpoints along the way to make sure you're staying on track. That's what's really great about our courses that review the exam content, is because we keep you regimented on a 5-week schedule to make sure that you are spacing out your studying and we're not doing a big 48-hour cram session ahead of the exam. We're studying over time. We're pausing to reflect on what we got right, where our struggles are. We're building on our weaker concepts. We're attacking this strategically so that you can be successful. And one of the most important things that I can't stress enough is that as you are preparing, use the materials, especially with the NHA exams that we focus on with our programs. They all come with a focused review component. And what that means is that you'll take a practice assessment, and then you'll receive focused review feedback that's personalized for you based on what you answered correctly and what you answered incorrectly in the practice exam. So it's going to help you build on your weak areas if you invest in studying the material that's covered in that focused review. In addition, we're going to ask you to pause and reflect each week after your practice exams and think about, how did you feel? What were you up against? And you might reflect that, oh, I second guessed myself a lot. I shouldn't have changed my answers. I see now that my first answer was correct. And so those are just some of the things that your instructor will speak with you about to help you learn who you are as a test taker, but also to help you build up your skill set and master those weaker areas. Next slide, please. So as you are building your study plan, it is essential that you engage in active learning. And that's going to look a little bit different for each one of us. I am a flashcard person. I like to have flashcards because I like to use my pockets of time to study. A lot of times when I'm preparing for an exam, I have a pack of flashcards. I carry them in my purse. And then when I am standing in line at the bank, I've got 10 minutes or so, I can be reviewing some concepts. If I'm sitting in traffic, I said sitting in traffic, not while I'm driving. When you have that downtime, just use that pocket of time. Maybe you're in line at the grocery store or you're at the doctor's office. You can pull out those flashcards and just be reviewing so that no time in your day is ever lost. You might decide that you want to make digital flashcards that you can pull up on your phone or on your iPad. Whatever works for you is what you need to do. Maybe you're someone who likes to make mnemonic devices where you pick out a word and master a concept based on using keywords in that mnemonic device. Sometimes it helps to say concepts aloud. Just reading aloud gives you another way to see the content, but then you're also hearing it. Teaching the concept to someone else is also an amazing way to master material. It can be a classmate that you jump on a Google Meet with, or maybe you sit your kids down for a bowl of cereal and say, today we're going to learn about the side effects of acetaminophen. They may not know what you're speaking about, but you are teaching it to someone else, and that helps you to master the content. Then towards the end of your exam prep time, you're going to begin taking practice exams that simulate test timing. And this is so important, not because we want to teach you to watch the clock, because that can set you up for stress, but we want you to know that the questions that you have to be answered within a certain time frame, depending on the test that you're taking. And we want to start timing you to make sure that you can perform successfully in that amount of time. So all of those ways are opportunities to engage in active learning and to help you be successful. Next slide. So preparing for an exam academically is always important. You've got to know the material. You've got to know the content. You have to be able to know those things and have those skills to be successful in the field. However, to be successful, you also need self-care. So I want you to click on the Engage tab in the chat, and I want you to click the self-care poll. And then I want you to answer by dropping in one low-cost or no-cost self-care idea that helps you to recharge. For some of you, that might be going for a walk. I see shopping, running, napping. Good. Whatever it takes for you to pour back into yourself so that you have that moment of, oh, take a deep breath and this is me time. I'm going to focus on myself. That's what you need to do. Let's take a look at the next slide and talk a little bit more about this. So it's really important that you take care of your body. As healthcare professionals, that is something that we definitely have to model for our patients. Now, that doesn't mean that we're all going to be at the gym 3 hours a day, that we're never going to turn down those ice cream sundaes or candy bars, but it just means that we're making an effort to take care of our bodies. And this is especially important leading up to the exam. Now, I don't mean 48 hours before the exam that you should start this wellness routine. I'm talking now. And at least 2 weeks leading up to the exam. It's time to really focus on getting sleep because your brain processes things while you are sleeping. So it's important to get that 7 to 8 hours of sleep. You need to work on balanced meals and hydration. This is not the time to be hydrating with Mountain Dew and Diet Coke and eating Snickers bars and beef jerky. You need some balanced meals, the fruits, the veggies, the complex carbs, the proteins. Make sure that you are fueling your body so that it can perform the way that you want it to. Academic challenges are just as strenuous on the body as running a marathon. So make sure that you are giving your body what it needs to be successful, and hydrate with plenty of water. Sometimes some movement or stretching can help. Maybe you want to start thinking about a little bit of yoga or Pilates, something to get your body moving, to get blood flowing to all your extremities, and especially to your brain. Make sure that while you're studying, you take care of your body by taking study breaks every hour. Maybe that's just a quick, run from the top floor down to the basement and back. Maybe it's walking out to the mailbox, putting away some laundry, doing dishes, whatever it is that you feel that you need to do. Just take a break at least once every hour for 10 to 15 minutes. And then I want you to think about simple ways that you can pamper yourself. Maybe you want to take a bath, take a quick shower. Maybe you want to get a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, or go outside for a little bit of outdoor time. Whatever you need to do to take care of your body, it's important that you take the time to do that and that you make the time to do that. I am a guilty mother that will put everybody first before myself. But this is one time where you have to schedule that time for yourself and take care of yourself so that you are fueling your body, giving it everything that it needs so that you are ready for test day. Next slide. So just as it's important to take care of your body, it's also important to take care of your mind. So make sure you protect your peace. Deep breathing, meditation, journaling, or if you are a faith-based person, prayer can also help you to be grounded and centered. Positive affirmations are very important, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that here in a moment. But positive affirmations help you to feed on positive talk instead of negative talk. So many times we are like, I can't do this. Nope, there's no way. I'm never going to be able to do it. Nope, I'm not smart enough. Well, you say that often enough, and guess what? You start to believe it. So replace those doubts with positivity. I can earn this credential. I will be successful. I am going to get that promotion. You need to fill your world with that positivity so that you start to believe it and you manifest that for yourself. I don't know if any of you have ever watched Happy Gilmore, and Happy needed to make those specific golf shots to be able to win back his grandmother's house. And he had a coach who told him, go to your happy place, go to your happy place. Sometimes you need that visualization for calm and focus. So if you're studying, or even if you're in your test and you start feeling anxious and you feel that anxiety creeping in, take a deep breath. Think about your happy place. What brings you calm? Is it the beach? Is it sitting in your room with a good book, with the, certain lighting or music? Whatever that happy place looks like for you, you need to go to your happy place. Sometimes you just need to connect with people who are supportive. Maybe that's friends, maybe that's family. Maybe you're having a tough day and you just need the positivity of one of your favorite instructors. And so you reach out and just get that from those people. Let their positive energy feed into you. They are your cheerleaders and your support groups. So tap into them because they want you to succeed. And sometimes you just have to take those mental health minutes so that you can regroup and reset. And again, maybe that's just getting up and walking away for a few minutes to go do something else, take a deep breath, and then come back and you can refocus. Next slide. So on exam day, you are going to want to fill your mind with exam day affirmations. And so I want you to head into the chat where we're going to practice writing affirmations that begin with I am, or I can, or I will. And let's see what some of these look like. Oh, I like some of these already. Through my faith, all things are possible. Absolutely. I can do anything I put my mind to. I will be successful. I've worked hard for this and I'm proud of myself. I can be successful. Good. I'm going to succeed in my healthcare career. Absolutely. I'm in the right place at the right time doing the right thing. You guys, these are amazing. I'm going to pass my class. I will graduate with confidence and purpose. These are great. And this is exactly what you need to surround yourself with, especially on the day of the exam. But put those Post-it notes up all through your living space, maybe on your desk, next to your computer, wherever you're studying. Put them on your bathroom mirror. I used to go in with chalk markers and print things on my kids' mirrors when I knew that they had state testing, just to remind them that they're good enough, they're smart enough, and I'm really proud of them. Sometimes you have to say that to yourself. So that's great. You might want to take some screenshots of these affirmations in case you're struggling to write your own, and that way you have something to build on as you head into exam day. Next slide. So, as we get ready for exam day, it's important that you set yourself up for success. One of the ways that you do this, and I cannot stress this enough to you, I want you to go to a testing center to take your credentialing examination. I know that we have the option to test from home remotely with a remote proctor, and that can happen 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. However, it is not ideal for you to do that. There's a lot of things that can and do go wrong. For example, your internet can crash. Something can happen with your computer. Somebody might walk into your testing space. A doorbell rings. Your phone rings. Something can happen that disqualifies you from the exam, and then you have lost your exam opportunity. It is so much better to go test in person because the testing center provides an environment that is clear of all of that. It's quiet, it's focused, it's private. No one will be walking in and out of your space. Plus, the burden is on the testing center. If the power goes out, if the computer crashes, if the internet goes down, that's on them. They own that liability, and that does not affect your testing experience. Obviously, your test could be interrupted in one of those instances, but you'll be able to test again with no penalty. But if you're testing from home, you own all of that. And that's a big burden to carry when you're already taking a high stakes exam. So please, if possible, go to the exam testing center. Get yourself out of the comfort of your apartment, of your house. Go to that exam testing center where that environment is going to be conducive to your success. Now, it's very tempting because you're taking a high stakes exam and you're already feeling just kind of antsy that you want to go in a hoodie and yoga pants and your favorite Birkenstocks or whatever, but don't do that. I want you to dress for success that day. Just the act of getting up, showering, hair, makeup, shave, whatever that looks like, whatever you do to get yourself ready for the day, to present yourself professionally, that's what I want you to do. It changes your mindset, and there are studies that prove that going dressed for success positively influences test scores. In addition, eat a balanced breakfast. This is not a day for Pop-Tarts. Make yourself some bacon and eggs and some toast, get some fruit, some oatmeal, fuel your body, because fueling your body fuels your brain, and we're going to ask your brain to be doing some hard work. So make sure that you eat a balanced breakfast, get plenty of hydration. You are going to be tempted to review before you go, reviewing your notes, and that's fine. It's time to get your brain in the mindset and say, hey, we are going to go take a test today. It's going to be about billing and coding. Let's start getting into that mindset. What I don't want you to do is cram and stress and be sitting in front of notebooks just super crashed out on the stuff that you're trying to go over. This is a time just to look at, okay, they're going to ask me what an ICD-10 code is. Okay, I know that. They're going to ask me about some medical terminology, and you might think about a few terms that maybe you struggled with that you want to remember. This should be really light surface level studying. This is not the time to be going in depth with things. Deep breathing and music for calm. On your drive there, take some deep breaths, listen to some calmer music, whatever it takes to get yourself into the mindset for that exam. That is what you need to do. Some of my students tell me that they have test anxiety. And while there are medications that you can seek from your doctor for that, the best thing that I can tell you to do about your test anxiety during your breakfast, eat an apple. Apples have natural beta blockers, and beta blockers help with test anxiety. So if you eat the apple, you're going to be a little bit calmer. And it goes with the adage that an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So it's really sound advice. So make sure that you do that. As you arrive to the testing center, make sure that you get there early. I recommend at least 30 minutes early. Sometimes the testing center will tell you 30 to 45. You just have to follow whatever their guidance is. But the fact of the matter is, you don't want to have a 9 a.m. exam and walk in at 9 a.m. You want to get there at 8:30 so that you have time to go in, kind of get acclimated to the environment, see what's going on, put your stuff away. You might want to have time to get a drink, use the restroom. My son likes to wash his face before he takes tests. So maybe you want to go in the bathroom, splash some cold water on yourself. Whatever it is that you need to do to get yourself ready, make sure that you arrive early and that you are ready. And as you go to the exam, make sure that you take stuff with you that you need. If there are materials they tell you to bring, you need to bring them. You need your photo ID. You need to make sure that your photo ID matches your testing registration. So all things that will be in the checklist that they give you at registration, make sure you have those to set yourself up for success. And then lastly, trust your preparation. You've worked hard. You know what you're doing. You've got this. You need to believe that and walk confidently into that exam. Next slide. So again, before the exam, some of the points I want to reiterate: review only the key topics. You do not need to be cramming before you walk into that exam. At this point, I want you to think about the fact that you've completed an education program, you've completed training prep, you've probably attended some live review sessions with our online course coach, and you know your material. It's time to just go in and show off. Show them what you know. Again, I prefer in-person testing for its stability. The remote tests are convenient, I'm not going to lie, but it is so much better to walk in and have no obstacles that you have to overcome. You are just there to take the test. I want to share an example of a young woman who took a test last week and she had to forfeit her session. She scheduled her test for 2 a.m. because you can test anytime, because she counted on the fact that her children and her elderly mother that she cared for would be asleep. She was almost done with the test and had almost earned enough points to pass the exam, and one of her kids got up sick and she forfeited the exam. So again, when I tell you that remote testing is not all it's cracked up to be, it is not all it is cracked up to be. Please do whatever you need to do to get yourself scheduled and go to the testing center. And then as you are approaching the testing center day, make sure, or the test date, make sure that you confirm the testing center location. You know how long it's going to take to get there, what the traffic is going to be like so that you don't get stuck in rush hour or whatever that could look like. Make sure that you have your photo ID. Make sure that you know what time to be there and that you arrive early and that you know what materials you need to take, if any. Next slide. So during the exam, just want you to take a deep breath and relax. You know this stuff. You know this. There's nothing to stress about at this point. I want you to read each question carefully. Don't speed read, but don't be so slow that you're going to be up against the time crunch, but make sure that you read carefully. And as you're reading, eliminate the wrong answers. Don't answer anything too quickly. And most importantly, don't change your answer. Once you answer, you lock in and do not change that answer unless you find something later on in the test that proves that answer was wrong. Then you can go back and change it. But typically, your first instinct about an answer is going to be the right answer. So read carefully, read the question once, twice, maybe 3 times if you need to, so that you are sure of what the question is asking. Eliminate the wrong answers. Select the best answer choice. If you come across a tough question and you're worried that it's going to take you too much time, or maybe you've already spent about 60 to 90 seconds on a question, go ahead and flag it and move on. You can always come back to it at the end. And then again, trust your instincts and avoid the temptation to change your answers, because that second guessing is bad news. Next slide. So the exam's over, and I want you to celebrate that you completed the test. I don't want you to worry about how you did. I want you to be confident and proud that you attempted something really hard and you finished it and you succeeded. You can always reflect on strategies for improvement, because I promise you, this won't be the only credentialing exam you take. You're going to take one now. You're going to get your foot in the door. You're going to get experienced in healthcare, and you're going to find something else that interests you. Maybe you want to specialize your credential. Maybe you want to go and learn something more or learn something different, so that you are very marketable and you can areas. So think about what went well on this exam. What can I do better next time? But then, most importantly, if you don't have a successful exam attempt, if you don't earn the points that you need to earn that credential, it's okay. Reach back out to me, reach back out to your student services advisor. We have a plan for your next attempt. We know what we need to do to help you to be successful. Just make sure you communicate that with us so that we can be ready to take your hand and guide you to that next step. Next slide. So I want you to remember that in the field of healthcare, it's important that we always keep growing. Your certification and your education, it's a starting line, but it's not the finish line. Each year, once you earn your credential, you're going to be required to complete continuing education, often referred to as CE, because that keeps your credentials relevant and active and your skills current. Continuing education is very important, especially in healthcare, because innovations come to light every single day. New processes, new procedures, new medications. And no matter which area of healthcare you certify in, it's going to be important. If you are in pharmacy, you're going to need to stay abreast of those new medications. If you are a medical assistant, you're going to need to know what are the new techniques, what are the new dosages, what are the new ways that we support patients in their health journeys. If you're in billing and coding, you need to know how to bill and code all of that. So there's always going to be something to learn in the field of healthcare. So make sure that you stay on top of it. A lot of the credentials will have different continuing education paths that you can follow housed right within NHA. You may work for a hospital or a healthcare organization that brings in professionals to host lunch and learns, and those lunch and learns often come with continuing education certificates. So make sure you take an opportunity whenever you can to learn new things, and please do not wait until the very end of your certification window to renew your credential to try to cram it in. For example, my coding credential requires 36 continuing education hours over the course of 2 years. That's not something that I can do right at the last minute. That takes time. And so I try to be disciplined and work on one continuing education credit hour per month, because then I have 48 months to complete that. So just make sure that you stay on top of it and budget your time wisely. Besides, you learn new things, and it's really cool to have new topics to talk about at work and new things that you've learned because you have been participating in the continuing education. And the other thing to keep in mind is that that continuing education is going to promote your advancement and your adaptability. People are going to notice when you continue learning and when you're continuing to invest in yourself. So make sure that you take that opportunity. Next slide. So along with continuing education in the sense of keeping your credentials current, there are also some stackable degrees and pathways that we offer here at Miller-Motte College Online so that you can continue learning and continue advancing your skill sets. If you are a medical billing and coding student and you have earned your CBCS for coding, perhaps you want to start thinking about what could an associate's degree in health information technology look like for me? And you should know that your medical billing and coding diploma stacks 100% transfers into your Associate of Applied Science for Health Information Technology. And then you don't stop there at the 2 years. You could go on and work toward your 4-year degree with your Bachelor of Science in Healthcare Management. Maybe you are one of our pharmacy technician students, and after that EXCPT exam, you think, you know what? I really like what I'm doing. I think I might want to be a supervisor in the field, or maybe I want to do a little bit more clinical work or research or whatever that looks like. So maybe you want to take that 2-year degree in pharmacy, build on that for a Bachelor of Science in Allied Health Management. If you have that Associate of Applied Science and Health Information Technology and your CEHRS, maybe you want to build on that, take that to the 4-year degree, like I mentioned previously with your Bachelor of Science in Healthcare Management. If you are a certified clinical medical assistant, maybe you want to take that diploma, come back, do the stackable to get your Associate of Applied Science in Medical Assisting. You could take that on to get your Bachelor of Science in Allied Health Management. Or if you finished the Bachelor of Science programs, maybe it's time that you want to think about a master's degree. Opportunities are endless, and education is a lifelong process. You're never going to stop learning, especially in the field of healthcare, because there's always something to learn and something new to figure out. And the innovations are just amazing. So just keep in mind that more education, especially in the healthcare field, is definitely going to mean more opportunities. Next slide. So our next steps, I want you to go back to the polls and the Engage tab and tell me, where do you see yourself next? What's your future look like? Maybe you are going to seek that Associate of Applied Science. Maybe you're looking at that Bachelor of Science. Maybe you want to just hit pause for a minute and go out and get some work experience, or maybe you're still just thinking about it. Awesome. With all of our participants, I see a pretty even spread between seeking a bachelor's, getting work experience. Some of you are exploring options, and some of you are like, I'm going to go for that Associate of Applied Science first. And that's amazing. Whatever goal you set for yourself, you can achieve it. And I just want to stress again that education is a lifelong opportunity for advancement and success. So don't sit on the sidelines, jump right in with both feet and be a part of it. Next slide. So it's important that you stay connected with us. If you are some of the students that answered on that very first poll that you've graduated, you're seeking certification, and you're ready to wrap things up, that's fantastic. But stay connected with us so that we can support you. Make sure that you reach out to your student service advisors and your program directors. Make sure that you maintain your focus and track your continuing education hours and renewal dates for your credentials. And as you're preparing for the job market, don't forget that you can lean on career services advisors for guidance. They're going to help you navigate searching for that career. They're going to help you with interviewing tips and techniques, everything that you need to be successful. And I also want to encourage you too, as you secure your certifications, take a look at the job boards that are posted on the NHA website. You can sort by credential, you can sort by region where you live. Sometimes you can even narrow it down to specific city and states. There are positions posted. You just need to find them and connect with them. And so working with career services and also those job boards are great ways to find that information and push forward with your future career. Next slide. So some of the key takeaways from our talk tonight is that preparation builds confidence. Again, you're spending a lot of time investing in your future career, and you're preparing over time. And that is the best way to do that, because it's going to help you master the material. It's going to help you to be confident in what you know, and that confidence is going to help you easily apply that knowledge and understanding to the credentialing exam. In addition to taking the time to prepare, spreading your studying over several weeks instead of just the night before, you need to also remember the importance of self-care, because self-care, the eating right, exercise, getting plenty of rest, drinking plenty of water, that is going to fuel your performance. Because again, testing in these high stakes exams can be as strenuous on your body as running a marathon. If you're running a marathon, you would be eating right, you would be exercising, hydrating, practicing, building up endurance, and those are all the same things that you need to do to take these exams. And then lastly, don't forget that continuing education sustains your growth, not only as a human being, but as a professional in the field. And so whether you work solely on continuing education just to maintain your credential, or you decide to pursue the next highest degree from what you have finished already, it's important that you do that. And I want you to remember that your success starts here and that we are here to help you find success. So make sure to stay in touch with your program directors, career services, and student service advisors. Next slide. So before you go, I want you to answer in the chat in one word or so, how do you feel leaving today's session? So click the Engage tab in the chat and then click on the Session Reflection Survey. Are there topics that you would like more guidance on? And how confident are you now about your NHA readiness? Awesome. I see a lot of great responses, and it's okay to still feel a little iffy. That's perfectly fine. Just know that we are here to help you succeed and to be your cheerleaders and to help you cross the finish line. Okay, so some of the questions that are in the chat. How can we get practice exams to prepare for the big exam? The practice exams are included as part of your curriculum in your program during those certification exam review courses. So you'll actually be working through the exam study guide and working with some of the practice tests alongside your instructor. You'll have access to those materials even after you graduate. They'll be available to you in your NHA account. So you'll be able to continue practicing right up until test day. Another question was, how do we find a testing center? Once you apply for your examination, you'll receive an email from NHA and PSI that asks you to indicate where you would like to test. And often you can put in a zip code and they'll help you find the closest testing center, or you can reach out to NHA and they can help connect you with the testing center that is closest to you. And then same question, how do I find a testing center for medical billing and coding? Typically, if a testing center offers the NHA examinations, they offer all of them. So you'll be able to easily schedule that exam. Likewise, again, if you have questions that are specific to testing centers and such, NHA can help you with that and help guide you to their testing centers so that you can be successful. Okay, next slide. So I have enjoyed the opportunity to speak with you. It's my pleasure to share with you everything that I know about credentialing exams and what you need to do to be successful. So I'd like to provide you an opportunity now to meet our admissions team and spend a little bit of time asking them questions if you have them.
Well, if nobody has any questions, I do just want to introduce us real quick, so we're just not staring at each other. My name is Velma. I'm actually in Texas. I'm one of the director of admissions for the healthcare vertical. And yeah, I've been with the school for over 5 years now. I'll kick it on over to Hector.
My name is Hector Morales. I am a director of admissions for the healthcare, and I've been with our school for, I'm actually more than 15 years now, I believe. So I've been here for a long time. Love it, and we're here to serve and make sure that we get your questions answered. All right, Carla.
Thank you. And so my name is Perla Rodriguez. I am also Director of Admissions here at Miller-Motte. Been with the company for almost 6 years now. I'm also from South Texas. And like they mentioned, we're looking forward to answering any of your questions and help you with your educational journey.
I don't know if there's any questions coming through, but I know that at the end they are going to be giving you guys our email. So if you guys do have any questions about the programs that Missy was letting us know about, we can go ahead and help you guys out with that. We could have one of our team members reach out to you so that we could help you getting started with one of those associate, bachelor, or even a master's program. I know Missy mentioned a master's program is in there as well.
Yes, so I do see a question in the chat. Well, a couple of things. Rochelle just shared, I live in Augusta, Georgia. I just passed my exam. Congratulations. And I'm putting in applications. I need help with a job. Rochelle, make sure to reach out to your campus and let your career services associates there know that you need some help, maybe polishing your resume or knowing where to apply, and they will be excited to help you do so. Another question that came in, after a healthcare management bachelor degree, is there any other degree we can get? Absolutely. The sky's the limit. You may decide that there's another associate degree that you want to come back and focus on. Maybe you want to train in another area of healthcare. Maybe you want to go work on your master's. It just depends on what you want to do with your career, which direction that you want to head in. I personally, when I worked through my degree plan, I never saw myself in education. And I went in as a guest speaker in a classroom one day, really enjoyed it. And I decided to pursue my master's in education so that I could come back and teach future generations of allied health. So that was the path that I chose. You may choose to do something similar. You may choose to work on a master's in health administration or a master's in public health. Maybe you decide you want to add an MBA and do something that's healthcare business related. So really, the sky is the limit. You just need to consider what you want to do, where you see yourself in the future, and then chase after that dream. Okay, I don't see any other questions, so I think we are about ready to wrap up.
Awesome.
So I'm going to thank you all for attending. This screen has just a few of the people who have achieved their national certifications in 2025. So congratulations to the folks that are on this list, and congratulations to you for the time when your name will join this list. You have what it takes. I know that you can do it. I'm proud of the success you've already achieved, and I'm here to take your hand and help you through to the finish line so you can add that alphabet soup after your own name. So thank you.